Greetings and salutations, folks, and welcome once again to another helping of Mr H's Hot Pot. You join me today pulled up on some random car park, and I'm currently awaiting my little son, Toby James, to have his morning nap. You can probably just hear him there beneath my velvet and dulcet tones snoring away there in the background. Now, today's subject's just going to be a little bit off the cuff, and a number of you have been asking me regarding my thoughts of this review that's coming up about the decriminalisation of the TV licence. Because I don't make many videos now about the TV licence, many of you are interested in that subject and probably joined this channel on the back of it. I've sort of hijacked various videos that I've made recently asking me what my thoughts are on it. So I'll endeavour to give you my thoughts. Now, the first thing that's worth noting is the Director General, Tony Hall. He's going to be resigning from the post in the summer. He's going to fall on his sword and move on. Probably taking with him a decent little pension pot. It's also worth noting that this is the second time in 5 years that the government has addressed this question of decriminalising the TV licence. So bear those two things in mind, that, you know, they're sort of coinciding, and it does indeed look like the writing's on the wall for the BBC. Now, regarding the decriminalisation of the licence fee itself, I think it's a good idea, and it's a fantastic idea if no one gets dragged before courts and all things like that, getting criminalised for the rather paltry offence of watching TV in your own home. I'm not advocating here breaking the law, and I'm not belittling the law when I say this, but, you know, there are bigger issues to worry about than somebody catching half an hour of EastEnders and not paying for it, isn't there? Especially when you come to think of it that the BBC have always had the power to stop evasion overnight by simply encrypting the signals. But that's a separate issue. So, on the face of it, it's a good idea. Now, as with anything, the devil is in the detail. And the system that has been sort of floated around to replace dragging people before the courts is to set up a civil fines type of thing, like would happen with parking. You know, when you park somewhere you shouldn't, you get a fine. Now, the problem with that is it opens the door to a number of questions. One of the questions would be, if they did go down that road, who issues the fine? Then we get to the question of, you know, what grounds do they need to issue the fine? If it currently stands where they need a confession via the old TVL 178 form, and you have to sign it and all that kind of gubbins, then, yeah, fair enough. But if they start going down the road of, you know, where one of Capita's staff, or goons as we call them, say, oh, well, I thought I heard a television in the background, or I thought I saw a television in the background, and they've got an old TV aerial up there, and a satellite dish, things like that, it would be a terrible idea if basically a private company can start issuing fines on hearsay. I don't think that would be a good idea at all. The other question, more importantly, is, as the law currently stands, the general public are not obliged legally to cooperate with TV licensing whatsoever. And I do wonder if the government will change the law and make it as the public does indeed have to engage with them to give TV licensing a fighting chance. So there's many questions that are up in the air, and those are my main concerns. We could find that they decriminalise it and we all end up wanting the old system back, because at least, as it stands, you can opt out and you can turn round and say, I'm not dealing with you, and close the door in the face, you know, providing you don't get into any hate-related crimes or anything like that, you know, or you start being racially abusive or anything like that. You can simply tell them to jog on, which is the advice I would always give someone. Now, it is interesting to see how this pans out, because I believe the person who's heading up this review is anti-BBC. In the past, they've always sort of been a little bit pro-BBC or soft on them, and it seems this time the government has put someone in who doesn't really like the BBC and has been quite vocal in the past when criticising them. We could find that the recent shenanigans that the BBC have been doing for the past 5 years, you know, political bias and all that kind of good stuff, and being pro-EU and all that, the chickens could come home to roost and it could bite them in the arse, because we do have a Prime Minister now who isn't afraid to step on anyone's toes. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully that's answered one or two of you out there who's asking me what my thoughts are on it. We'll have to see how it goes. It could be a case of better the devil you know, but we'll have to wait and see. Right then, this is clocking up to 5.5 minutes, and I just wanted it to be a quick video. So folks, until the next time, from myself, Mr H, as always, it is bye-bye for now.